leading the interview. We're going to have Brandon Ellrich. I have to ask him if I'm saying his name right, but I think I am. Brandon Ellrich from Brandon Ellrich is So Gay is going to be joining us to talk about gay Gen X anthems, which by default really means we're talking about the lack of anthems that we had growing up. I will be fine. Thank you. Wendy, you're so sweet. You love me? Oh, I love you too, Wendy. And you weren't able to grow a beard, Brandon. I totally understand. Um, you don't need to grow a beard because you're not here to replace Lawrence. You were here to be our guest. I'm hoping that Lawrence will join, but I suspect that he is still sleeping it off. He texted me a little while ago and was like, I'm still so sick. So I suspect he's sleeping it off. Well, it looks like, hang on, I haven't had a sip of caffeine yet today. Yum. Um, Here's a question we've never asked, which is weird because I feel like we're, at least, especially on the West Coast, we're becoming like a morning show. We've never asked, I don't think, like, what's in your mug? Mine is PG Tips British tea with a splash of oat milk. That's what I drink in the morning. Weigh in the chat if you're not driving. Kat is driving. Don't chat. But what do you all drink in the morning? And we'll take a look if we're coffee drinkers, tea drinkers. I don't know. Herbal tea, Karen. Skinny almond latte, cold, good. Coffee with cinnamon, ginger, sugar, and creamer. Wow, Brandon. That sounds like a fuss to make in the morning. It sounds delicious. Black coffee, almond milk, Ethiopian roast medium brew. Fusen goat piss straight, good. Lots of vim and vigor with that. No caffeine for Karen. I enjoy a strong London fog most mornings. Liz, that is a delicious beverage. I used to be really into Earl Grey, and then the flavor of bergamot like turned on me, and suddenly I didn't like it anymore. And it was actually like I was averse to it. And now I'm fine. If it's the only black tea around, I'll drink it. But like, it's weird how flavors can do that, isn't it? A gallon of iced coffee from Homebrew. Okay. Tesco Instant, keeping it real, John Pierce. You work at 3 a.m. every day. Oh, holy cow, that's early. Instant Folgers and half because it's faster. I grew up taking sips off of my mom's Sanka. Yeah, instant coffee. It has its place in the world, you know. Petrified bison bile for Robin. Good. I suppose that gets you. Is that a Canadian thing? Must gets you Canadians up in the morning. That petrified bison bile. And you used to hate Earl Grey, Liz, and now you love it. Flavors and scents are weird like that. I find that happens with perfume too. Well, thank you. I'm all awake now. I'm going to take one more sip and then I'm going to rant. And I actually even wrote some notes for my rant. Hold on, sip first. That is delicious. I learned the bison bile trick from RFK Jr., so not Canadian. Has he said something about bison bile, or are you making that up? Because, Damon is having a very Pacific Northwest Stumptown coffee with raw sugar. Delicious. Robin, please say RFK didn't say something about bison bile and you're just making this up, because we're in such a post-satire world, I can no longer tell. I believe that's a joke, making it up, but it sounds like something he'd say. It absolutely does. And Beth Cruz is going to be on Karen's Love Stack today. That's amazing. Karen, what time will that be? And I'll say it out loud so it will be captured. Hopefully she'll write back to that in a moment. So for those of you who missed it, it was brought to my attention last night. It's at 2 p.m. Central Time. Okay, I'm doing it. So noon my time. Shoot, I won't be able to make that. I will have to watch the recap. But if you all are around, you should absolutely watch Karen and Beth in conversation. That will be a great chat. So my rant, it was brought to my attention, passive voice last night, and to make it more active, Michelle Tahoe messaged me and said, I've blocked this guy with a link with a to a story, and I was like, oh, yeah, he sounds like a jerk, just looking at the title, because I was driving. And then I got home, and I was like, oh, I got name checked in this story by this jerk. And the story was published on June 10th. So I haven't exactly noticed an influx from the hate post. But I'm going to retort to it now. And I need some input from all of you first, because I am torn. This is what I'm torn about. I'm typically a believer that you don't feed a fire, you don't give it oxygen. And when that comes to online reading, I don't want to particularly say this asshat's name or point to his red pill women hating Substack. But on the other hand, I do kind of want y'all to be able to read along. I am going to read what he wrote about me and some of the other quotes from the story. But my question for all of you is, do you want me to share the link in the chat so you can go to his page, full well knowing that this will drive the algorithm for Substack, and it will likely show this now month-old story to more people? And it may also change your algorithm so that you are seeing more red pill hate bombs on Substack. I'm going to come over here, out him. Oh, some sad saddie with a broke dick. Yeah, Morgan, that's probably about right. Wendy says share it. Mason says yes, 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 because mama. Okay, okay. You said because Wendy, you said because mama will be, I'm not sure what, it's letters and I'm way too excited to get that shit. Is this because mama will hate her? It's H4X0R. I'm not hip to your slang here, Wendy. But Wendy. Okay. Well, I will put the link in here then. The story is called Women Are Degenerates as Well. And the author is named Rohan Ghostwind. I'm going to assume that is not his given name. Frederick, you're here. Hi. Why shouldn't you create content off some red pill dipshit? Oh, I will. I just don't know that I didn't know I wanted to link, but I will link. There it is. So I'm going to come back over here to my notes so that I don't forget anything. I will read parts of it, even though you have the link here so that it is captured. Mr. Ghostwind, he leads in title case, the start of his story, one of the biggest conspiracy theories of the modern world is this idea that men are somehow the grosser half of our species. I think there are worse conspiracy theories, but we'll let that lie. We will let that lie. That's his opening statement, though. And then he goes on to say another myth. I feel like I need a persona to read this. So hold on, let me channel the high school freshman year acting class. Another myth that seems to be pervasive is the idea that men are more degenerate in terms of their sexual desires. And men, let me tell you, if you're under that impression, it just means you haven't found a certain corner of this website yet. Quotes are mine. Air quotes are mine. He means Substack. Substack is just teeming with degenerate women like me. Right, sweetie? Are you leaving?
Yeah.
Okay. Have a great day. My child is leaving for her job that she's managed to get, even though her mom's a degenerate, which is very cute. Now he writes, this is the premise of the story. As part of another post that I was going to write, I ventured into other parts of Substack. And holy shit, did I regularly stumble upon some stuff that routinely made me go, quotes his, what the fuck? Okay. So here's all of us degenerate women. Wendy, why are you telling us to hold, please? Are you asking me to hold? Um, thank you. Frederick says, give me all the degenerate women's. We're right here. We're right here. Susan says, I mean, I'm a sex worker and I can tell you for sure that they are. No, I'm working on something while you talk. Okay, great. So here he is. He is set up and established. Why have I lost the story now? Oh, here it is. Too many tabs open. So what the fuck? Okay, these are the things that made him say, what the fuck? Lena, proud degenerate woman. Um, so I am the second example that he cites on his what the fuck list. The other is, I don't know, a bunch of dialogue with chat with some woman talking about her pussy. Whatever. I don't. Yeah, women using the P word. Shocking. Okay. Oh my gosh, Lena's your best friend, Fusen. Hi, Lena. You are so welcome here. Okay, so here's all he wrote about me. And another interesting example was the woman who decided to post about her amazing boobs and then doxed 3 generations of her family in back-to-back posts. First of all, he forgot to put the hyphens in back-to-back. Editor me really wants to fix that. Mr. Ghostwind, if you could add some hyphens, that would be, more correct. But then he's put a screenshot that's showing 2 posts I made in succession back in, I don't know, May, I think. The first one is from Pink Hair and Pronouns, and it's called My Gender Fluid Tween Tried to Explain Their Identity to My Dad. And it is a picture of me with my 2 daughters and my father in his memory care center. And then right below that is the story that has above and beyond brought me more traffic than anything else as a writer. That's called Hello, I Have Amazing Boobs. And it is a photo of me from here to here in a t-shirt without a bra. My 50-something-year-old boobs with the subhead, I've got big boobs and I cannot lie. And under that image, he has used the caption, talk about range. That's all he's written. That's what he's written about me as an example of this. Let me remind you, what the fuck content. Okay. So I have to not look at the chat for a minute because I have to look at my notes over here. You can see the screen got a lot brighter. His story is on black background, so it was very dark. So I wrote some notes here that I would like to respond to Mr. Ghostwind. The first being, wow, it's like a woman can both be sexual and a mom. We can contain multitudes, right, Mr. Ghostwind? I also want to jump into this idea that of doxing. I don't think that word means what he thinks it means. If he thinks that me writing a story about my gender fluid tween trying to explain their they them pronouns to their grandfather with dementia and posting a photo of us as an establishing shot to give context and let people into the story as doxing. So I've cut and paste a couple of definitions here for you, Mr. Ghostwind. Doxing defined to search for and publish private or identifying information about a particular individual on the internet, typically with malicious intent. And I also wanted to add, quote, American Congress has introduced a law that criminalizes the intentional publication of someone's personal information online with the intent to harass, intimidate, stalk, or harm them. So I am not doxing my family. I have shared an image to support the memoir that I wrote. If you are going to insult me, please use the correct verb. I am a word nerd at heart. And I certainly would never dox my family. And it would take a lot for me to dox someone. If I had your personal information, I might post a LinkedIn to where you work, but you were clever enough to use what I have to assume is a fake name, Mr. Ghostwind, but you still have incorrectly used the word dox. So you wrote very little. I suggest you update that. I also want to add the story about my boobs that he's referencing that was for a long time the number one like SEO pick if you just searched on amazing boobs, which I find hilarious. Um, it's a story about mammogram anxiety. I wrote it a couple years ago because I had just scheduled my annual mammogram, and I have gotten some, knock on wood, not too scary, but some times when I've had to go back for repeat ones because something is off. I think we all know, all women, all boob havers, anyone who goes in for these tests knows that it's anxiety provoking. 1 in 8 women leaves that appointment with the trajectory of their life and health changed. So that story is simply a tongue-in-cheek story about me appreciating my amazing boobs and why, to counteract that anxiety, and also as like an act of feminist taking back of the narrative. We're not supposed to appreciate parts of our body publicly and talk about how we like how we look. And so it was me just being like, I've got great boobs. They fed my babies. They've brought me a lot of joy. So if he thinks that, hold on, I've got to go find the exact word he used again. If he thinks that that is a degenerate act, um, I just feel sorry for him. Like, have you never known a confident woman? I don't get it. Um, they're just boobs. It's just I don't understand what's so off-putting about it. And really, Mr. Ghostwind, you seem to be off-put that I have both posted about boobs and posted about my kids together, who are teenage daughters. Um, And yes, my youngest one now uses she pronouns again and is okay with the word daughter. Just so you know, at the time um, I'm writing about in that story, they didn't, but they do now. I'm not misgendering my youngest. Um, my kids don't fear the fact that their mom is writing online about her boobs. They do fear men like you. I fear them on my children. I fear men like you on my daughter's behalf. Um, there is no There's nothing degenerate or weird in any way about the fact that I'm writing about these two topics. I am here as a memoirist, to write about my lived experiences, and they are both equally true about me, along with many other topics. So, uh, did want to say that. I'm going to check my notes here and make sure I didn't forget anything. Um, yeah, so another woman who is checked in this story, that what he says is, and there's perhaps my favorite article on this website. By this website, he means Substack. So far, by a publication known as the Vagenda, he has it in quotes, titled The Menopause Estrogen Face Cream Epidemic. And he posts a screenshot of it as if it is a horror in and of itself. Um, we agree there that might be one of my favorite articles on this website. The Vagenda, I follow them. That is the publication of Dr. Jen Gunter, who is literally a hero to me and zillions of other women online. She is a New York Times bestseller. She is an OBGYN. And I'm just gonna read from her bio. I went and found her quote of, I'm an OBGYN and a pain medicine physician. I write a lot about sex, science, and social media. I've been called I assume that this is an older bio. I've been called Twitter's resident gynecologist, the internet's OBGYN, and one of the fiercest advocates for women's health. I have devoted my professional life to caring for women. I'm here to build a better medical internet. So her link that he thinks is horrifying, I'm putting right here because I read this story last night and it's amazing. She's talking about how so many products are being marketed to women to deal with menopause and how few of them have been through FDA testing. That's a very terse explanation. Computer's unplugged, 1 second. But that's what the story's about. It's super important. It's so well read and researched. This is the atrocity he's bringing forward of like deplorable women on Substack. Like, get the fuck out of here. Um, wow. I'm so honored to have been included in an article, even if it's a hate speech article with Dr. Jen Gunter. She's amazing. So you should all go follow her. Let some good come out of the sky. And for this last part, I thought, Rohan, can we go by first names now, Rohan? Since my boobs are so offensive to you, I'm just going to give this last part like this because I have awesome boobs. And what I wanted to say is if posting clickbait headlines about how much you hate women is, like driving traffic your way, I can't quite tell how low my camera goes. So we'll just do this. Well, maybe you just read it like this. If that sends you like a few extra readers and that's how you're getting all of your audience here on Substack by your like so-called salacious content from these, degenerate women, like, fine. But it's just uninteresting. And if you're going to come after us for having great boobs or for like sexualizing our content in some way, um, do it for something actually titillating and offensive. Don't come after like amazing doctors online. Don't come after like 50 something women writing about their mammograms and about their teenage daughters. We are not the problem with the world. I mean, my 50-something-year-old tits are nice, but, like, seriously, find something else to be mad about. Over 100 people are dead in Texas, Rohan, because, your political party pulled funding, and they were not, I forgot the name, Curry County, I think it's called, did not have the testing it needed, and they had laid off the folks who would have done early, detection of storms like flash floods. And my home state of Florida has opened a concentration camp in the Everglades, surrounded by alligators and venomous snakes. And if there is a hurricane, which there's gonna be some hurricanes in Florida, they are all gonna drown too, probably. So I'm just gonna say that if you think that these are the biggest problem in the world, you need to be paying a lot more attention to the world, Mr. Ghostwind. Pay attention to the world. Quit. I mean, maybe don't quit doing what you're doing. If it's bringing you joy, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. I think it's uninteresting, but it did need a retort because it was about me. And it has not happened very often that the red pill side of Substack finds me. But when it does, it's always about that boob story. Um, I don't know. Maybe if your mom had nursed you, you wouldn't be so weirdly obsessed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you didn't get the love and attention you needed from that. Maybe if you saw more boobs in real life, you wouldn't be so like, "Eh." But I hope you, I don't know, stack rank your priorities a little better. And I think that's all I have to say on the subject. And now I'm going to go check the chat because I couldn't do all of that and also read the chat. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at all of this stuff. Morgan, okay, he's boring now. Is there something cooler for a topic instead of this loser fella? There is. I am about to bring on our guest. No doubt Ghostwind is projecting his own degeneracy by trying to make normal things dirty. If he thinks that is degenerate, has he ever seen the internet? LOL. Robin, they're not just boobs, they're amazing boobs. Thank you, Robin. I read that on the internet somewhere that they are amazing. The assignment has been passed to my IT rockstar friend. Oh, wow. This prick exhibits small dick syndrome. Yeah. I loved that post, Dana. Thank you, Liz. I assume you mean the one, the amazing boobs one. Is he proud of his own farts? Ah. Looked at his Substack, just another MAGA douche. Yep, I looked at it too, but one with a bit of a following. Dana, I didn't know this was one of your team stories as well. The algorithm, I see it all now. I note he has some grammatical errors. Would love to correct him in the comments, but I don't want to acknowledge the jerk. Yeah, don't. What a dick. Yep. Okay, now I'm gonna scroll down because I'm getting a little head up in here. Craig, I'm honored. It does say in the story that, gay men love my boobs. They always have. Let's see. Oh, Morgan in all caps. He's crying and winking now, but it's still limp. Ha, ha, ha. Boobs, coffee, will it rain money? Will it money rain outside next? I mean, maybe, Victor, that would be nice. And it was Kerr County, okay, in Texas. Oh, you lost the site for Kerrville Folk Fest? Is that real, Craig? And they paid for Alligator Auschwitz with FEMA money. They sure did. Wow. Liz said I had to deal with a right-wing troll recently too, but with me, he just couldn't stand that I was saying good things about us Gen Xers. Okay, troll. They just really don't like when we talk, when we have opinions, when we show our bodies. When we don't show our bodies, there's not a lot of ways to win. You may have just killed him, Dana. His breast fear is really abnormal. And Karen says gay men have great boob tastes. I think that's true, and I don't know why. They are great at motorboating. I have not had a gay man motorboat me, but okay. And Craig says those are some admirable yard dogs, and I think we will end with that. I have never had them called yard dogs before, but okay. I think that's enough retort. That's enough of my boobs. I'm zipped back up. I will probably post that as its own short. I'm not good at shorts. I'm kind of a talker. And Brandon, I hope you're ready because now let's shift gears and get our very special guest on. Thank you for indulging me in my need to rant. I nearly, I thought about replying back to him, but I didn't want to do that. I'm trying to invite you. There we go. The invite is in. You'll be thankful to know I didn't just take notes on that story. I also took notes for this interview. So when Brandon joins, we will get started. There you are.
Am I here? Am I on?
You are here. You are on. You look adorable. I love your hair.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, it looks, I love this at the top. It is lovely. It's so good to see you. It's been a few weeks.
Yes, nice to see you too, and your boobs.
Thank you. I didn't mean to start your very gay topic with my very straight boobs, but
Oh, it's fine.
it's
Fine.
kind of necessary
Fine.
retort, and it's the daily whatever. We also contain multitudes. There's room for all of it here.
Whatever, right?
It is
Whatever.
whatever. Brandon, I believe you are well known to most folks on this chat, but in the event folks are listening who are unfamiliar with your work, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, well. I am Brent, and it's Ellrich.
Ellrich. I think I've said Ulrich a few times because I don't know why, but Ellrich.
Well,
Go on.
it's fine. It's no big deal, really. But it's rich, the opposite of what I am.
Oh, same. At least things are going to get better with the big, beautiful bill of bounty
Sure.
for all of us.
Sure.
AI told me so. I Googled it, and Google AI told me that it's going to help all of us working creatives.
Well, AI does like to be very positive, and
It's us.
they're always very affirming.
It's always accurate. But I don't want to interrupt. Tell us about you, Brandon Ellrich.
So I am Brandon Ellrich with Brandon Ellrich is So Gay.
So gay.
That's my main publication. I do have another publication. It's the Gay Pussy Cat Lover.
Yes.
But I don't write a whole lot on that one. But I wanted to try something out at first with subtext to see what hit, what people enjoyed and stuff. And as far as my notes go, when I post notes, it seems like the ones of my cats are the most popular ones. So
who doesn't love cats? Oh, I see one of my cats. Should I turn the camera so you can see her sleeping on the couch?
Oh,
Would you
sure.
like to see
Oh,
Josie before we
yeah.
get started? So, don't laugh at my home setup. My dog, believe it or not, is still recovering from surgery, so she's asleep on her little bed that I set up in her gated.
Yes.
And then there, can you see the kitty?
Oh, I do.
That's
Yes.
Josie. Josie snuck out last night, and so she spent the night outside, and so this morning she came in very indignant, like, and I'm like, if you leave when I open the door at the end of the night, you're gonna spend the night outside, and it's so warm out anyways. But that's sweet
Yeah.
Josie. My other cat hides. We probably won't see him. Um, so
Well, mine
first,
two are
what are your
asleep in
cat's
the
names?
other room.
And what are their names?
Zach and Zoe.
Oh, that's so cute. So
Yeah.
alliterative. Very good for writers,
Yeah.
Zach and Zoe. Um, Tell us what you write about when you're not posting photos of your cats. What is your niche for someone just subscribed, I saw in the chat.
Oh, well, okay then.
Yeah,
I write gay stuff. Um, a
as
lot of
one
it,
does.
yeah, a lot of it is satire, humor. I enjoy writing that, but I do have some more serious or heartfelt pieces. I wrote about losing my boyfriend and um, things about growing up being kind of judged and not not fully loved or accepted
Mm,
by family and friends, that kind of thing. But
mm.
I always do tend to throw in a little wit or sarcasm. I just can't help. That's just part of my personality.
Yes.
That's one
It
good
is.
thing I inherited from my family. The sarcastic humor. So
Yes.
I always got to
Um,
throw that in.
it is one thing to write about hard topics. It is another thing to write about hard topics and imbue them with humor, um, to um, to keep the reader buoyant, as to be the narrator who can see the dark humor in things, and you do this beautifully. So,
Well, thank
um,
you.
yes. Liz is asking, where did you grow up?
Oh, in Missouri,
Okay,
in Missouri,
right in the middle of the country. Um,
Missouri.
Misery. Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm going to interrupt for 1 second because I can't look myself because I'm on my phone. I had a little news alert, and I'm Googling it and I'm not seeing it yet, but it said something about Israel and dead trans people, like 100 dead trans people. If anyone feels like researching news, I don't know what the alert was from. So maybe it's like somebody writing a story, but I'm not seeing any alerts. Um, but if somebody does know anything about this new breaking news, please let me know because that just alarmed me when it popped up, and then I couldn't open it because I didn't want to risk closing the live. Um,
Yeah.
okay, we're not going to worry about that yet. Let's hope it's not catastrophic news. Um, so, in addition to writing for your publications, you are now also a published Gen X memoirist
Yes.
or essayist, I
Yes.
guess. We've only had a few guest posts, and one of them is yours. I just put it in the chat, and it is called The Ultimate Gay Gen X Song. Um, I love this story. It's so sweet because Lawrence and I often end our interviews with folks by asking what they think the ultimate Gen X song is. And you were one of those folks, and you answered with Green Day's "Time of Your Life" because you are a younger
Yes.
Gen X. I love how
Yes.
you can almost pinpoint the year or at least the early mid late Gen X by the song choice. But it's a beautiful pick. I mean, it was the conclusion of Seinfeld, right? That was in the final episode, probably the ultimate Gen X TV show. Um,
And when I
and
was a teenager, growing up in high school and going to graduations and stuff, there would be like, I don't know if other places around the country did this, but in our school, at least, a lot of times the parents would get together and put together a kind of a montage of older pictures of the kids, growing up through school and things like that, and have music playing in the background, and it seems like always life or good riddance by Green Day it seems like it was always a part of that. So that was that was kind of what I grew up with, and I love Green Day. So
Yeah. They are an enduring band, aren't they? Like,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
still around, they're still touring, they're
yeah.
still, like, somewhat I'd say relevant, you know, it's hard to stay relevant when you're getting up there in years, but they are around. Um, I am gonna hit the pause button just for a moment because Wendy did provide the link. Over 100 trans inmates are presumed, in quotes, "presumed dead" after Israeli strike on Iranian prison. Oh my god. Um, oh, wait, it looks like this happened on June 23rd, so it didn't just happen. I think the news is just there are 100 over 100 inmates missing and presumed dead because the trans wing they had a trans wing of their prison
Oh, okay.
known as Ward 240 was destroyed. Okay, well, we got a story for Fucked Up Friday. I don't want to derail your interview for this, but since it just popped in, that seemed too important not to share. And
Oh yeah. I mean,
okay.
I'm I'm flexible with whatever.
Oh, no, just it's a live, right? So when live news comes in, sometimes you just gotta oh God, just this fucking world. But yes, let's care about my boobs and call that an atrocity.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think he even read some of those articles from, what
no,
his comments were and everything. I think a lot of times people do that. They look at the title and assume
yeah,
things about it and, just go off on it and like,
yes,
you might want to take time and actually read it and find out what it is before you start.
right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absurd. Yeah, he clearly was just, yeah. You know, when those two stories were out, there were other red pillars. A couple of them commented that they came in succession, two separate publications, but both written by me. And I was like, yes, we're able to hold more than one thought in our head. A
Yeah.
little lady head. Back to the ultimate gay Gen
Yeah.
X song. So this is, I'm gonna keep us going. This is how my attention issues work. I generally bring back from my tangents. So what you're calling, in this story, um, actually, I'm just gonna cut to the chase and say, how did you transition from Green Day to your pick, and what was your song pick? Because people are asking in the chat.
Okay. So, when I was on when I was on your show and I picked Time of Your Life and everything, and it wasn't long after that I was driving in the car and I heard Billy Joe, being a Green Day fan, I always I recognize he has a very distinct voice, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, I heard him singing a cover of I Think We're Alone Now.
Oh,
And I never I mean, I'd heard the song lots of times before, and
of course.
I I think mostly I'd heard it from Tiffany because she was more recent than
Right.
the original, because I think the original it came out in the 50s or 60s. I can't remember now. 55, 65,
I think it's the
60s maybe.
60s.
Yeah, I think it was 60s.
Um,
So I
it's
guess it was
Tommy. Yeah, I know it's Tommy James and the Shondells. Hold on, it's
yeah.
1967. It finished number 12 on the Billboard magazine's year-end singles chart for 1967. So 20 years later, Tiffany recorded it.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I knew it from Tiffany, and I always thought it was a fun song.
Yeah.
It's just kind of an upbeat whatever. And but then I don't know, for some reason when I heard Billy Joe singing it, I was picturing something completely different than what it was, I think, originally intended for. It was kind of a rebellious uh, teenage
Yeah.
sexual revolution kind of song.
Yeah.
Basically, it's two teenagers who they weren't supposed to be having sex or whatever, and they needed to run away
Yeah.
and hide everything. But when I listened to it, I don't know, something just clicked in my mind, picturing me and another guy, and and the words, I've got it somewhere pulled up, but
I can children behave, that's what they say when they're
right.
together, and watch how you play. They
Watch how
don't
you play.
watch how you play and how you're running just as fast as we can.
Yeah, and then the second verse especially, look at the way we got to hide what we're doing, because what would they say if they ever knew? And that just really hit me as something like that was me, and that was, I think, a lot of Gen X growing up as gay. There weren't a lot of people who were comfortable with coming out at that time, you
No,
know.
definitely not. Do you think it was because it was a male voice singing the song and a male voice that was beloved to you?
I think that's part of it. Yeah, because I have this more of a connection, I guess, with Billy Joe, just because of his music and everything, and
Yeah.
that might have been part of it.
I would love to hear that
And
cover. I wonder if we can find it. Um, did he
yeah,
sing
it's
it
on you.
slow or did he sing it like a dance song?
No, he's saying it fast. I mean, kind of the way that, well, the way
God for the
it's
internet.
it has been sung, but I when I looked it up on Wikipedia, the origins of the song and everything, it was originally written as a ballad,
Yeah.
and then they decided, no, we don't like it that way. We're going to speed it up, and then it became more of a dance track, especially when
Yep.
Tiffany recorded. It was more of a fast dance track, but the words and the meaning, I don't. When Billy Joe sang it, I just, it wasn't just this fun fast dance track. It had a deeper meaning for me.
Of course. I mean, it's so interesting. Obviously, that song wasn't out during the era. Ahaha, it wasn't out either, um, to be the ultimate
Right.
Gen X gay song, but it is your ultimate Gen X gay song because of how it hit you. And what's really interesting in this piece, in the subtext, and you do mention it here, of I'm trying to find the line that you said. Oh, not many queer icons existed in Generation X, at least very few who publicly admitted it. Teenagers emulate trends they see from their idols. Since we saw almost no openly gay people, many of us stayed in the closet too. 100% true. I mean, remember there was like, George Michael's not gay. Like,
Yeah.
okay. It just,
Lots of denial.
right? But the other side of that, and I really wish Lawrence were here today to talk about this with you because he's talked about this from a literature perspective. There weren't overtly gay songs. There weren't
Mhm.
overtly gay characters in books or really in movies. If there were, I think they were caricatures. They were not good characters. They were side characters and they were very flamboyant and stereotypic.
Right.
There
Right.
weren't dimensional role models for you anywhere, right? In preparation for today, I was like, what are the ultimate Gen X kind of gay anthems?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I have a short list, but most of them are very subtle and they're anthems because the gay community has latched onto them like YMCA,
Yeah.
not because it was an explicitly gay song like you could find now, everywhere. And it's remarkable how far we've come in
Yeah.
a relatively short period of time in terms of having that. Do you remember the first time you like heard a song or maybe even watched a movie or a TV show, if that's easier, where you were like, I feel seen. That's gay. And not in a like, closing my eyes and imagining it, but that's overtly a song about queer people.
I don't know when, because growing up, I was still trying. I was trying to be straight, and I
Yeah.
was trying to deny all of that. So I, if I did recognize it, I would have kind of pushed it away.
Oh, right, because you were like, I'm not gay though,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
why
Right.
would that be? Um, I have a list of some songs here that me, the straight woman, but music fan, thought of as Gen X gay icons that I wanted to run by you and hear your
Mm.
opinions. Folks in the chat, please weigh in if you have additional ones. I have sort of put these in sequential order because by the end, by the 90s, which I think we can still count, they're overt. I only put a couple, but I'm going to start early. And I'm not sure the exact years on these, but I'm coming out by Diana Ross.
I was going to mention that too. I was looking last night at some, and I was like, well, if I were to write, I kind of would. Maybe I should write a different one now. But
Yeah.
The one I wrote, I think we're alone now is kind of like a closeted
Yeah.
But then on the opposite end, if you could actually be yourself, and I did look at Diana Ross. I'm coming out. I mean, that's just like, okay, I'm here. I'm out. This is me. So it's funny, yeah, that you bring that one up, because that was one I was going to bring up today. I was like,
I mean, it
on
is.
the opposite end of the spectrum. Yeah.
Diana Ross denies that it's a queer anthem, but I'm like, Diana, come on. I want the
Yeah. I
world
mean,
to know. It's such a
yeah.
good song. The production value on it is so clean and pretty. And I can remember when the song came out as a mid Gen Xer. I think it was 1980, 81. So it's early Gen X, but it's definitely like a from our childhood anthem that has endured.
Yeah.
Um, I see Rebel Rebel just got mentioned in the chat. I put Life on Mars as mine. I was like, Bowie's whole early catalog is at least queer friendly, but I was like, which is the most queer friendly? What is the most gay Bowie song? I don't know, but I have a real soft spot for Life on Mars, and it's nothing overt, of course. But to me, there's two reasons. I think it's just a song about being a super outsider and wanting.
Okay.
Is there life on? Do you know the song Life on Mars?
I'm not familiar with it so much.
Man waving at the wrong guy. I'm not even going to try to sing Bowie, but part of it might be that the very first trans woman I knew, like early in my days in Seattle, that was her karaoke song, and so it might be colored with that. And
Right.
she killed it every time. So when the recap for this live goes up, let's make the article with it. We'll add songs. We can co-write it.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
we'll see if Lawrence has any to contribute. But Bowie for sure, right? Like,
Yeah.
did you know Bowie when you were younger? Because I feel like he would have been a comfort to you. But
I really didn't.
yeah, I came to Bowie in '83 with Let's Dance, and that wasn't, that was very mid-30s Bowie in a weird yellow suit, not like gay Bowie making out with, I guess, DJ. The video for DJ, he's making out with men. So maybe that should be the pick. But
So
I saw that much later. Yeah.
When I remember my introduction to David Bowie was the movie Labyrinth.
Oh my God, yes.
We watched that all the time when I was young. We loved that movie, and
Yes.
yeah. So that
Right.
was that was my introduction to David Bowie.
Right. All right, here's a couple more from like 70s era, very early. Two I'm going to lump together, which is ABBA's Gimme, Gimme, Gimme a Man After Midnight with the Weather Girls' It's Raining Men.
Oh
Both
yeah,
sung by
yeah,
both are sung by women, so they're not really gay
right,
songs, but they're anthemic.
yeah,
Right. Then we start moving, let me look down here. Yep, into the 80s. So I have, of course, Small Town Boy by Bronski Beat, like, that song, which
yeah.
is now the TikTok meme of like, make your 80s parents dance. And they're all dancing with this. And I'm like, that is not how we danced to Bronski Beat. I'm sorry, stop. None of like, that was not necessarily, that was like a pretty alternative song in the 80s, but like an overtly queer anthem, even though with his high falsetto, maybe you couldn't understand all the lyrics. But and Craig just put Erasure. Literally the next song on my list is "Oh L'Amour" or maybe "Chains of Love" by everything by Erasure. Do you really not know them, Brandon?
Well, how does he know? I don't know them. But how does he know I don't know them?
I don't. And the Communards. Yep. I didn't put the Communards on this list, but I should add them. Okay, Ola Moore. Oh my God, you are gonna have so much fun going into Erasure's back catalog. We'll
Oh
put the
gosh.
we'll put the links. Oh wow, Dana is an Erasure fan. Of course, I'm an Erasure fan. Have you seen me? I love Erasure. I don't love Erasure as a concept, but the band Erasure is amazing. And Ola Moore, he has this very gorgeous, soaring, effeminate voice, and it's very dancey. Ola Moore, I'm off key, broke my heart, now I'm aching for you. He doesn't overtly say he, but it's pretty overt that he's singing to men, I think. I always thought back in the day, too. True Colors by Cyndi Lauper.
Oh yes, I do. I do know that one.
Yeah, I feel like Queer Anthem. I see your true colors, and that's why I love
Right.
you. So don't be afraid to
Yes.
let them show. It's not a gay song like two men or two women singing to each other. It sounds more like a friend singing to someone who she knows to be gay and that she loves that person anyways. So a
Well, I think
supportive
that's.
song.
Oh, sorry.
No, you
I
go ahead.
I think that's kind of what we had to do growing up with movies, music, books, and everything. We just kind of had to put ourselves in different roles, and switch. It was usually a man and a woman, love stories and
Yep.
ballads and things like that. But we, I had to look at it from a different perspective, basically. I mean, even in the song that I talked about, I think we're alone now, not a gay song. And
No,
a lot of these that you're talking about, not gay songs, but you
right.
can,
Because we had to be, yeah,
yeah, you can think of them in that way, and then they're kind of almost, how could you not think of them that way in some way?
right.
In some of I'm coming
Right.
out,
Yeah.
now looking at it,
Well,
it's like, how
the
could you
chat
not think of that as a gay song?
right? The chat is going crazy for Katie Lang, and I didn't have her in my list, but we will add
Mm,
Katie Lang for sure. I did have Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Also not overtly saying he or a man, but relax when you want to come in this dance hallway, like,
yeah, yeah.
I'll call that a gay anthem. Then we're moving into the 90s, and I have a few songs. Freedom 90 by, I think that one is George Michael, not Wham by that point. Um,
Oh, okay.
he doesn't proclaim that his freedom has to do with his sexuality. It's all about him coming out from these expectations on him, though, and how he was, this teen idol and this sex symbol, and how he doesn't want to be, he wants to
Mm.
be released from all of that. Um, but I think in retrospect, at least, Freedom 90, first of all, is a great fucking song I did not appreciate back in the day. Do you know that one? Uh,
No,
I feel like you would know it.
maybe if I heard it.
Yeah, that I don't belong to you. And I don't know why I'm singing all these songs as if you're going to know them by my bad early morning singing. Freedom 90. I'll put the link in the chat. And this one was famous on MTV because they never show his face, which, George Michael was handsome and his face was always everywhere. It's all supermodels. So it's
Mm.
him as he's saying, like, I want to step out of the fame. All the Young Dudes by Mott the Hoople, written by Bowie. Yep, that's a good pick, Damon. Um, okay, a few other songs though, two more that are transitioning into when we could start saying people were gay in songs. The first one, I Kissed a Girl by the late great Jill Solbuel. She just died tragically, right, in a house fire.
Yeah, I read about that.
I'm still kind of shaken by it. Not like I was a huge Jill Solbuel fan, but like she seemed like a delightful human being. She's not much older than I am, and she was groundbreaking for that song that was
Right.
nuanced because she in real life was bisexual, and I think it's about her. It's this very like innocent, joyous exploration of her discovering her bisexuality, but it's brilliant because she made it so like poppy and innocuous that it got airplay. It's when she died, her obit said this is the first charting queer song.
Yeah.
So, oh, Craig, your best friend was close with Jill. Um, yeah, I no one should be burned to death. Like Uh, she was
Yeah,
a
that's
customer
horrible.
at my New York City video store, very sweet lady. Oh. Yeah, so I went and listened to that song like 50 times in a row. I remember sitting my kids down and making them listen to it when they discovered Katy Perry's "Kissed a Girl." That song made me so angry when it came out because I was like, "Jill Sobule already did this in a very authentic way." And Katy Perry's is not a gay song. It is like the equivalent of making out with your best friend at a frat party to titillate your boyfriend. Like, I hate it.
Right.
I
Yeah.
hate it. Um, and then the last one I have on my list is "When My Boy Walks Down the Street" by the Magnetic Fields, which I know is abstract, and I don't know how many Magnetic Fields fans we have here. They're my favorite band of all time, and Stephen Merritt is the songwriter. He is a gay man. 69 Love Songs is his opus. It came out in 1999. He is a Gen X man, but the recording is in millennial era territory. But it's literally 69 love songs, and they all gender bend. He has 4 vocalists. He has a very deep baritone, but the other man and the 2 women both have these gender ambiguous voices. And live, they take turns and they trade off. So sometimes it sounds like a straight song, and sometimes it's
Oh, right.
like a gay song. But "When My Boy Walks Down the Street," the refrain says, um, "Blue eyes blazing, and he's going to be my wife." Like he
Oh, yeah.
overtly lets you know
Right.
that, and he's playing with it, of course, because a man isn't gonna be a wife. Magnetic Fields are awesome. Victor, yay! Um, if you don't know 69 Love Songs, like, dive in. It's such a joy. Like, my original writer handle on Medium was All My Little Words. I couldn't use it on Substack because someone's already sitting on it, but that's a Magnetic Fields song, from 69 Love Songs, and, it's about the futility of words to change someone's heart, which is funny because I believe in that words can do that, but not romantically. Like, it's like there's nothing you can do if someone doesn't love you. There's nothing you can say. So I liked the irony as a Gen X person of using a song title that's talking about the futility of words to represent my writing that I hope would not be futile. Um, that's all I had for Gen X anthems. Um, I want to check the chat. And do you guys hear echo? I hear myself echoing. No?
I
Really?
I didn't notice anything.
Okay, good. Oh wow, you lasted a week as a stripper. Wow, we're getting some stories in here. A go-go dancer boy in a gay club. Um, I'm looking for any songs that we've got talking about relax. Father figure. Yep. George Michael's whole collection can be read through different eyes now, can't it? In hindsight. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Um, I am not seeing new ones. If you have, wait a minute, my best friend in middle school, her babysitter was one of the women in the band Chic. Wow, that's amazing. Okay. Um, Ziggy Stardust, yep, more Bowie. That for sure should be on there. I think we've covered everything in the chat. And Brandon, final question, because I know we're at the top of the hour. Is it comforting when you hear songs or see characters in films and movies that are overtly gay now? And actually, I don't wanna ask, is it comforting? Like, what impact do you think it has on both Gen X age folks and also younger ones that there are now just gay songs and gay movies?
I mean, it's so, a lot of times it kind of brings tears to my eyes, when I'm watching or listening just to those kind of things. It's like, and it makes me kind of sad that I couldn't have that,
Right.
growing up. But it does make me feel good that somebody's getting it now, that young people who maybe would be afraid to come out are kind of emboldened, I guess, and feel more comfortable,
Yeah.
and that makes me feel good. Um, but yeah, it's it's kind of, a sad, it's back and forth, sad and happy at the same time, it's
Right. I mean, I'm sure every generation feels this, but I feel like things have moved so quickly, and with Gen X as such a fulcrum generation that we extra can feel this longing of like, "Wow, I'm really glad you have this," and the kinda ache that I didn't.
right. Yeah.
Um, but I'd like to think we had something to do with the fact that the generations after us now have it. I mean, Jill Solbuel and Stephen Merritt, uh, I think Jill Solbuel might be a late boomer, but Gen X can claim her. 'Cause of when her song came out, and Stephen Merritt, I think it was people like you growing up who were like, "I don't want to have to write this song and pretend it's about a woman,
Right.
I or a man. I wanna write it in my authentic voice." I think Gen X helped spearhead that. So, I wrote in my memorial article for Jill Solbuel, like, she kissed a girl so Chapel Rowan could don her pink heels and go to the Pink Pony Club, right? There
Yeah,
had to
I
be
heard that song at every Pride Fest I've been to so far, that the bands are playing that song.
Of course. Oh my god, we haven't even talked about your Pride tour. I think that's a whole episode. Or
Yeah, I think
yeah.
I'm going to Omaha this Saturday for
Oh
Heartland Pride.
oh my gosh, they're still going.
Yeah, yeah, I
That's
like
amazing.
that they extend it because it feels like,
Yeah.
at the end of June, it's kind of depressing. It's like just that month and it's over. So I like that some places, I think Nevada is doing one in August or September,
Mm.
and there's one in Columbia, Missouri, that they're doing theirs in September. So I kind of like this tapering or spreading out.
I do too, and I think it's what the you are doing important work in doing this because I think a lot of us so-called coastal elites like me, um, we think of the Midwest as an inhospitable place for minorities and for queer folks, and,
Hmm.
I there are elements of truth to that, right? There are
Right.
ways in which
There
it
are.
is not the
Yeah.
most hospitable, but you are showing that, like, a red state is not a crudely drawn, crayoned in all red like it appears on
Yeah.
the electoral map, and that are, like, vibrant queer communities who want to come out and be seen in very public ways. And you're shining a light on that. That's super cool.
Well, that's kind of my goal. I was hoping, I would get more people coming and watching these things
Yeah,
and kind of showing what it's like in the Midwest. But, you know,
yeah.
uh, it- maybe it'll eventually happen. But so this Saturday, if anybody wants to join me, I'll be live in Nebraska.
Do you know about what time?
Um, I believe their Pride Fest starts at 12:30, so I'll probably want to wait a little while after 1:32 ish Central Time.
Okay, so noon out here. All right. Um, I will try to tune in on that one. I don't know what I'm doing Saturday. That's like days away.
Yeah, and Saturday's kind of a busy time, so I know it's hard.
It is, but no, it is also really hard to get air on Substack. I basically
Yeah.
pulled my boobs out and we're at 39 viewers, you know? It's it is very difficult to um yeah, to get air is the only way I can call it on Substack, but I think the best way to do it is like keep consistently raising your voice. So I applaud what you're doing. We are over time. Um, thank you so much for coming
Yeah.
on. Thanks to everyone for joining us and for being so lively in the comments today. It's been amazing. Cross all of your fingers that Lawrence will be back tomorrow. He has not made our graphic and I have not made our story, but Walter Ryan is joining us tomorrow. And we're going to be talking about karaoke stories because we are
Yeah.
continuing our week of music joy to lighten the mood at the Daily Whatever. If only one of us is here tomorrow, better it be me than Lawrence because Lawrence is not a karaoke fan like I am. But if you have karaoke stories, come prepared to share them. And yeah, have a great rest of your Tuesday, everybody. Thanks again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Mm.
Mwah.